Hi, and welcome to another episode of Zazzle Chat. Today we are going to be talking about fan-inspired or designed artwork. And to help me talk about this topic, I have two special guests, Leah and Peter. And why don't you guys introduce yourselves to our designers?
Sure. I'm Leah Wansky, and I work in the Content Partner Business Development team at Zazzle.
And I'm Peter Tomasi. I'm Chief Artist Advocate at Fanmade, which is a Zazzle company.
So for those of you who don't know, at the end of last year, Zazzle quietly acquired a company called Coveroo, which is now Fanmade, and we will talk about that more in the next Zazzle Chat, but just so that you know, it's a Zazzle company, but it is on a different platform. So today we're talking about designed artwork. And there's actually an opportunity to do that on both platforms, both on Zazzle.com and Fanmade.com. So we're going to have Leah and Peter walk us through kind of the differences, the similarities, and how you can make money on both websites and really showcase your super fandom. So let's talk to Leah first. Leah, why don't you walk us through what fan merch is on Zazzle, the process, and kind of why designers would want to get involved in something like that.
Sure. So fan merch is a really unique opportunity for designers to use intellectual property from some of the most famous brands in the world to create original artwork, apply it to products, and then sell them in an official store.
So what are some of the brands that Zazzle currently has?
We have a bunch. So we have very newly launched is Ford Motor Company, and there's already some great designs in there. We have entertainment brands like Orphan Black and Outlander and Portlandia.
I love Portlandia. I always want to just put a bird on everything, but I really do.
That's what people are doing on Zazzle. We also have all the armed forces. And most excitingly, we just received permission to do fan merch for some of our collegiate properties. So we have it for LSU, and we have it for Cal, and we have it for Michigan as well.
So if you went to those schools and you're a huge diehard, instead of just settling for what you guys have in the bookstore, which is great stuff, but now you can kind of create your own, add your name, and it can be completely personalized, something that Zazzle already does, but with official licensing, with official IP and intellectual property that's completely above board.
Yeah, and the best part is you can create something, you can post it for sale, and then you can have other people purchase it, and then the school gets their share of the sale, and you get your share of the sale as well.
Cool. So if designers want to get involved, how do they get involved on Zazzle?
So on Zazzle, all you have to do is search fan merch in the search box on any page, or you can go to zazzle.com/fan merch, that's FANMERCH, and you'll find links to all of the stores that enable you to create fan design art.
Cool. And that's really awesome. I mean, you said we had all the armed forces, but like we really do. We have the Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force, and especially I think that there's like so much, we have so many products to design on there. So it's really, really unique, really special. We were looking through some of the designs earlier. I really, really thought the Army store had some really, really personal, good designs.
The armed forces have been with us the longest in fan merch, so there's a huge range of designs there for soldiers, but also the family members who support their soldiers. And some of the newer ones have less to look at, but that just means designers should get to work.
Yeah. So how does the payment on Zazzle work?
So what's going to happen if you want to participate is you go to that fan merch page, you click on the brand that you want to design for, and what you'll see is a page of blank products. And those are the products that the brand has approved for design. So you kind of think about what kind of product you'd like to design for. And then what's really important is you click above that, there's rules. And each brand has very specific guidelines for what they will allow and accept. And of course, if you want your art to be posted, you should follow those guidelines very closely. So you click there, and there it will also tell you the financial terms. And each brand allows the designer to have a different share of the sale. So that's where you can find out how you should set your royalty when you post your product for sale.
Cool. So yeah, make sure you check out the rules listed on the fan merch page, and it's pretty detailed, and it's listed on there.
And the other important fact about the rules is, in addition to royalty terms, it tells you what tag you need to include with each of your products, and that will let us know that we need to put it in the official store for you. Once you design a product as part of fan merch, it no longer lives in your store in the way that your products do. It lives in the fan merch store. And you can add it to a collection so that you can self-promote that design and that product, but it will live in the official store after it's submitted and approved.
So it's a little different than just posting a normal product, but you do get the prestige of having an official IP like brand.
Yeah, your designs are being promoted under the official brand store, which is a pretty cool thing.
Cool. So fan merch sounds awesome on Zazzle. It's been around for a couple years, but it's always good to kind of refresh for our new designers who haven't heard about it or haven't used it, and for designers who have been with us a while but haven't checked it out yet. So I think I understand how fan merch works on Zazzle. So Peter, tell us about Fanmade and how fan-inspired art works on Fanmade.
Sure. So FanMade allows designers to create limited edition products and launch them to the folks who are most likely to buy them, their current and future fans, all through one platform with a focus on t-shirts and electronics. And we also have an opportunity, similar to fan merch on Zazzle, to allow both fans and artists to work with official brand artwork in their creations.
So do we have the same brands or do we have different brands on Fanmade?
We have different brands. So Fanmade has deep standing roots with collegiate and professional sports licensing. So you'll find brands like Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NHL, as well as over 100 colleges and universities. So it's a little more sports oriented.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell us how kind of fan merch works on Fanmade. Like, what's the process?
Sure. Well, you go to fanmade.com, and it's really quite simple. To launch a campaign, you click Get Started, and you build, rather than building a store, we really focus on each individual campaign because what happens is we actually do focused marketing on behalf of our artists. So we really want you to upload your best work, and then we'll help get that out there to the public. You can set your own price. You can also set a description, tags, etc. I think it's a process that most Zazzle designers will be familiar with.
Cool. So there's two platforms. I know that one's on Zazzle.com, one's on Fanmade.com. But I just want to let's take a step back, and if for me if I was a designer, I'd want to know what the similarities and the differences are to make sure I understand what the difference are between the two platforms are. So why don't we take a step back and just talk about the differences and similarities, and then kind of, why both are awesome in their own aspect. So first of all, let's talk about the similarities. So, Leah.
Well, I think that the first similarity is that in both cases, you're able to design on behalf of these brands.
Mm-hmm.
So the brand is going to review and approve, and then it becomes part of the official collection of that brand.
Yeah, and I think in both cases, the designer has the opportunity for recognition and for getting reviewed by one of these brands, which is, I think, a great thing for their portfolios and for their resumes.
So for Bay Area fans, if you're a Golden State Warriors fan, you can post stuff and it'll be approved by the Warriors. You're essentially selling licensed Warriors artwork, which is super cool if you're a Warriors fan.
I think the next thing is probably that you can earn money on both platforms, which our designers are doing really well. But in both cases, you can earn a share of the sale. And again, the share is different depending on the brand and depending on the site. But no matter what, you will earn revenue when your design sells. So as Peter said, make sure they're your best.
So the designer gets a portion of the sale, the brand gets a portion of the sale, and then Zazzle will cover its cost with actually producing the product. But that way, all the parties represented actually benefit from the sale. And lastly, I think just the prestige of having, We talked about it being approved by official band. I think it's really awesome for your own portfolio to know that you have a product that's officially licensed by a brand. So those are some of the similarities. I think that's pretty easy to grasp. I think what the differences are a little more nuanced, so let's talk about those.
Sure.
So first of all, obviously they're different websites. Zazzle.com, if you go and you can search for fan merch or /fan merch. And then for Fanmade, do they just go to fanmade.com?
Just go to fanmade.com.
Okay, and I think all the information for how to upload will be on the homepage. So for who can join either platform? So for Zazzle,
You just have to have an account on Zazzle, and all you have to do is pick your brand and submit. Not all designs will be approved, but as soon as you have an approved design, you're in the program.
cool.
Now on Fanmade, anyone can go and upload your own work, so work that you own. In addition, if you want to be part of the Artist Partner Program, which allows you to interact with the brand marks and logos and team designs, etc., that I was mentioning before, just go to fanmade.com/apply, and you'll see a little box there which asks for your Zazzle store name. And that'll be our queue. Our artist relations team will go and actually take a look at your portfolio. And if it meets our standards, you'll be invited to submit to the Artist Partner Program. And what will happen is the next time you come back to the platform, you'll see a number of brands that you're able to work with in your artwork, both on and offline.
Cool. So Zazzle, anyone with a store can be part of it. On Fanmade, you can create products, but to be invited to design on these brands, you have to kind of go through an application process and be approved. So it's a little more selective. Cool. So products. I know what kind of products are available on Zazzle versus what kind of products are available on Fanmade.
So if you're a designer in Zazzle, you know that there are thousands and thousands of products that you can customize and sell. And in fan merch, it's very similar. Each brand decides which products they're comfortable having in fan merch, but in general, it's hundreds of products. So the range is pretty broad, and then you as the designer get to decide what you'd like to design on.
And on fanmade.com, we're really focusing on two areas. One is t-shirts, and the other is electronic cases. So when you come to the site, we really want you to upload work that works best in both of those platforms. And we'll be expanding into some other products that are fan related in the coming weeks.
Cool. And then timing. I know on Zazzle currently, once you upload a design, it's usually evergreen. Can you kind of explain that and if there's any difference there?
Sure. I think there's two components to timing. So when you submit your design, it has to be reviewed internally by Zazzle, and then sometimes it's also reviewed by the brand itself. So your design could go live anywhere between a couple of days and a couple of weeks. So you should be patient around that, depending on the brand. And then in terms of your product, once it's approved, it lives in the store for as long as we have rights with that brand. So that's usually multiple years. The product can live and be sold, which means you can add it to your collection and continue to promote the entire lifetime of that product.
Cool.
And fanmade.com is a little bit different in that every product is part of a campaign, and you set a timeline for that campaign as in when you want it to end. And what that helps us do is really create a sense of urgency around this as a limited edition, something that's only going to be available for a limited time. Now you can go and reset the campaign once it expires, but to the consumer, what they're seeing is really great products, but things that aren't going to be around forever. So we really encourage them to take advantage of them while we're there. Now, while they are live, we'll feature them fairly intensely across social, shopping networks, and other marketplaces. So your stuff will really get in front of quite a few people.
So I think both are just different business models. It's not better or worse. It's just different. I think Zazzle, you can always get it. Fanmade creates a little more urgency, but it kind of just what the different consumers are maybe going for that. And then lastly, I think there's a difference on what assets we provide on
that's an important one.
On the different platforms.
So on Zazzle, when you design for a brand, your artwork needs to be original, unique, and created by you. So we're not providing downloads. You need to create everything that you upload and submit and apply to product.
Cool.
And on Fanmade, there are two options. You can upload your own existing artwork that you make offline in your tool of choice. In addition, we provide more than 100,000 vector images in our design tool. So when you go to create a campaign, that is add a new design or add a new product, in addition to uploading your own design, you can use one of these vector images and manipulate it in our tool or offline and create a really unique blend of your material as well as our artwork. So it's as well as we also have a number of fonts and other tools available to you. So in addition, if you're part of the Artist Partner Program, you also have the opportunity to work with those brand marks, logos, and teams, as I mentioned before.
And actually on Zazzle, when you're creating the product, you have access to the full Zazzle design tool. So you need to upload the asset that you want to apply to the product, but that you still have access to our fonts and all of the features of the Zazzle design tool.
Awesome. And that's really interesting. Let's talk about some of the design tips for our designers. So I know, so these will be purchased by like super fans, really, like people who are really invested in these brands. And I think we talk about the psychographics of these fans. Like, what do you guys have any design tips? Like, what have you seen that work well? What are the top purchased products?
I think they're pretty consistent with what sells well in Zazzle. So of course people love to buy a fancy t-shirt. And now that we have all these great new styles, t-shirts are selling really well. So I would say t-shirts are really popular. Also, things like mugs and drinkware sell really well. I think the goal is to create something that's really unique and special. So whether it's beautiful typography like you see in Orphan Black, or we have some designs in Outlander that are really cute costume cutouts. In Ford, there's a really wonderful design of a woman, and it has the Ford logo on the back of her t-shirt. That's really cute. So, everyone's taste is different, but I think making sure it's unique and special, and that it's going to look really good on the product that you've selected is the most important thing. Also, again, just making sure you follow the brand guidelines, because even if it's the most amazing design ever, if it does something that the brand has not permitted, then we can't accept it.
And I think one thing to mention is these are super fans, so things that do well are like maybe templated products, so they can add their name, they can really the fans can interact with your products. So like, I think I saw one that was like Army sister, or like, and you can change, it was a templated product, so sister or brother or mom.
That's
so
a
that
great tip.
If they're spending the time to search for this, they want to make it personalized and they want to make it just for them. So anything that you can do to templatize it and make it easy for them to customize, I think that really helps your
That's
sales
a great
as well.
tip, yeah.
And then
on Fanmade, one of the things that's worked so far on the Fanmade beta site is our really targeted pieces of art. So the folks who've created them have really thought about who their demographic is. Is it 25 to 30-year-old female who's into sports? So as you create work, think about who you want to direct this as. And the reason why the more targeted stuff has been successful is most of our marketing is done on Facebook, and Facebook is a very demographic sensitive marketplace.
Yeah.
So we're going to help you get to those segments, and you'll also have some tools, including Facebook pixels and other things, in your dashboard on fanmade.com that'll allow you to direct some marketing as well if you wish.
Cool. So just to quickly recap, I think there's fan-inspired art on both platforms. As discussed, they're very similar, but also very different. And as a call to action, can you just remind designers what to do if they want to get involved for each platform?
Absolutely. Go to zazzle.com/fanmerch and pick your favorite brand and design for them.
And go to fanmade.com and click Get Started and upload a t-shirt or phone case design.
Cool. Sounds easy enough. Hopefully that was helpful. We'll be talking about Fanmade more in the next episode, but this was just a preview of what you guys can do to get involved now. So stay tuned for next week, but good luck designing. We're excited to see all your great artwork.
you.